Hey, what's up everyone, I'm Andrew, and in this video we're gonna restore and upgrade ASUS X55A. This is about 8 years old laptop. It's released in 2012 and how you can see it is in a bad condition. The most noticeable thing is the keyboard. Some keys are missing, but the problem is the entire keyboard is not working. The case is very nasty and most of these models are coming with weak performance. This model here has Intel Celeron 1000M CPU that belongs to low-end CPUs. It has 2 cores and 2 threads, and it's running at 1.8 GHz. The RAM is 2 gigs DDR3, and the hard disk is 320 gigs, with a lot of bad sectors but still running. With the current components, this laptop is pretty weak. The basic things are running slow and gaming performance are far from good. I've tried to run GTA 5. I used all minimum settings, and how you can see, the game is not really playable. The frame rate is about 10 and the game is running very slow. But that's for now only. Well, at first, this laptop does not promise really much, but we're gonna make some changes and make it much better. Well, first I will start with disassembling, because I need to clean this laptop, and later we will do some upgrades.
I'm walking down the street on clouds instead of the concrete I'm dancing through. Everything's about to come my way, nothing can ruin my day. No matter what anyone does or say, I smile at fools. No, I don't care cause I am on my way up, and I won't stop, I won't slow down. Steady on my feet, I'm gonna rise up. No, I won't stop, it is my time. Cause I know what it's like to be broke. I know what it's like when nothing goes your way. So I'm gonna let myself enjoy the fruit from this lucky day. Yeah, I am on my way up, I won't slow down. Yeah, I am on my way up, I won't slow down. I'm strolling.
Well, and basically this is it. These models are simple and easy to disassemble, and this laptop is pretty clean from the inside. But however, I will cross over the cleaning process again, remove the tiniest dust from the inside and make it almost like a brand new. So first I will start with the motherboard. I will remove the heatsink with a cooling fan, the CPU, and then I will clean the motherboard.
Down the street with all of my favorite songs on repeat, I'm dancing through. Everything's about to come my way, and I don't care if you spill coffee on me or if the sky is gray or blue. No, I don't care cause I am on my way up, and I won't stop, I won't slow down. Steady on my feet, I'm gonna rise up. No, I won't stop, it is my time.
Well, the motherboard is clean, and now I will move to the heatsink with a cooling fan.
Cause I know what it's like to be broke, yeah. I know what it's like when nothing goes your way. So I'm gonna let myself enjoy the fruit from this lucky day. Yeah, I am on my way up.
Well, and this is how the motherboard and the heatsink with a cooling fan are looking.
I won't slow down. Yeah, I am on.
Now, after I finish with the motherboard and the cooling fan with the heatsink, I move on cleaning the bottom case. Basically the case is pretty clean, but I will clean it again and remove even the tiniest dust from the inside. Well, now after I finish with the bottom case, it's time to move on the display and the bezel around, that are pretty nasty. To clean the display and the bezel, I will use 96% isopropyl alcohol, but mixed with anti-static glass cleaner, few cotton buds, 2 brushes, one normal and one soft, and few cleaning cloths. And as always, when I'm on the part with a display, I must say a few warnings. If you're going to clean some laptop display, then you should be very careful. First, do not let any kind of liquid to pass over the corners and enter to the inside, because that may damage the entire display. And do not press the display heavy, because you may easily break the display.
My way up, I won't slow down. Yeah, I know what it's like to be broke.
Well, and after all, this is how the display and the bezel are looking.
And I know what it's like when nothing goes your way. So I'm just gonna let my...
Now, after I finish with the display, I continue with cleaning the top case, the mid case and the other parts. Actually, I wanna make anything almost perfectly clean.
Self-enjoy the fruit from this lucky day.
Now, after I finish with cleaning, let's move on the keyboard. The keyboard is not functional, and unfortunately that cannot be repaired. So in this case I had to buy some keyboard, but fortunately I already have an original fully functional keyboard that basically is in a good condition, but two of the keys are missing. However, this is not a big deal. The keys on these keyboards are easy to change. So from the old and non-working keyboard, I will move the keycaps and one key mechanism to the other working keyboard.
I won't slow down, 'cause I am on my way up. I won't slow.
And this is it. The keyboard is complete and ready for use. Well, now it's time to move on some upgrades and assembling the laptop. Because the motherboard is going first in the case, we're gonna start from here. And the first upgrade is the CPU. From Intel Celeron, I'm gonna upgrade to Intel Core i7 2670QM. This is 4 cores, 8-thread CPU with 2.2 GHz base clock and 3.1 GHz turbo clock. So basically, this is a very huge step on this laptop. Actually, at first I planned to go with Intel i5 2520M CPU. But at the last moment, I found a few of these i7 CPUs. However, the difference between these two CPUs is not too huge, and in reality is about 15%. So basically, with the both, this laptop will have a great jump in performance. Well, the motherboard is ready, and now I will start with assembling the laptop. But during the process, I will do a few more changes.
I'm walking down the street on clouds instead of the concrete I'm dancing through. Everything's about to come my way, nothing can ruin my day. No matter what anyone does or say, I smile at fools. No, I don't care, 'cause I am on my way up, and I won't stop, I won't slow down. Steady on my feet, I'm going.
Well, before I place the keyboard, let's do some changes. So here, instead of CD-ROM, I will install an additional 500 gigs hard disk. This hard disk is for keeping data and basically expanding the laptop storage. Also, to place the hard disk on the laptop, I will use a 12mm disk caddy.
Rise up, no I won't stop, it is my time. I know what it's like to be broke. I know what it's like when nothing goes your way. So I'm gonna let myself enjoy the fruit from this lucky day. Yeah, I am on my way up, I won't slow down. Yeah, I am on my way up.
Well, now the next upgrade is SSD instead of hard disk. The SSD that I'm going to use is a budget 480 gigs Eco. This is a less popular brand that belongs to mid-class SSDs.
I won't slow down. I'm strolling down the street with all of my favorites.
And the final upgrade is the RAM. Instead of 2 gigs, I will go with 8 gigs. Actually, I want to go with more, but unfortunately, this laptop has only one RAM slot.
So repeat, I'm dancing through. Everything's about to come my way, and I don't care if you spill coffee on me or if the sky is gray or blue.
And after all, this is how the laptop is looking.
No, I don't care, cause I am on my way up, and I won't stop, I won't slow down. Steady on my feet, I'm gonna rise up. No, I won't stop, it is my time.
Now, the performance are much better than before. The hardware is fully functional, without any malfunctions, and all is very stable. The both disks are working without any problem or conflict. Just the CPU temperature is a little bit higher, but nothing serious. It's about a 5 or 10% higher than usual. But however, everything is fine, and this is expected, because the cooling on this laptop model is not predicted for high-end CPUs. The gaming performance are a little bit better, but still far from good, and far from what we want. But that's because this laptop has Intel HD 3000 graphics only. Well, now to boost the performance to the maximum, I will install a desktop GPU on this laptop. And the GPU that I'm going to use is MSI RX580 Gaming X with 8GB of GDDR5 memory. And to connect this GPU to the laptop, I will use an additional things like EXP GDC V8.5c dock. The connection will go over a mini PCI Express cable. The power supply is Cooler Master with 460 watts real power. And as the case, I will use Cemo A4. Actually, this is a micro PC case, but also is a perfect for eGPU. The case has a very beautiful and clean design. It's made out of aluminum and it can fit even the biggest graphic cards.
Cause I know what it's like to be broke, yeah. I know what it's like when nothing goes your way. So I'm gonna let myself enjoy the fruit from this lucky day.
Well, now let's connect the GPU.
Yeah, I am on my way up. I won't slow down. Yeah, I am on my way up. I won't slow down.
Because I removed the Wi-Fi to connect the eGPU, now to get an internet connection, I will use a USB Wi-Fi dongle. Also, this laptop is not supporting using the internal display with the eGPU, so I have to connect my monitor to the GPU. Setting up the eGPU on this laptop is easy, but during this process I have a few small issues. However, I fixed it all and I will explain everything. The first problem is with the power supply, and that can happen in almost all cases if you are using some powerful GPU. If the power supply doesn't have an 8-pin connector, like in my case, then you will need to use an 8-pin Molex cable. But you need 8-pin Molex that have all 8 cables, like this one. The 8-pin cable, like this one, will not work. Because, how you can see, there are 6 cables only. And 6 cables are not enough to power up some better GPUs. The bottom connection that goes in the power supply cables isn't really matter. You can use a standard or SATA connection. That's whatever. Just you need a Molex with all 8 cables. That's the first thing that may cause problems with better and newer GPUs. Now, after the laptop starts up, First, I continue with installing the RX580 drivers. At this point, I didn't have any problems. Installing the drivers passed without any problems. I used the latest drivers and everything is working just fine. Well, now after install the drivers, I reboot the Windows and basically that was all. The RX580 is fully recognized and accepted by the system without any issue with the drivers or anything else. Now the next thing that I notice is the GPU cooling fans are not spinning, but this is usual and very easy to fix. I install MSI Afterburner. And there I have a control over the cooling fans. I can choose manual control or temperature-based control. Actually, here everything is the same as on desktop computer. Well, now after I finish with installing the drivers and the other basic things, I move on testing. But when I try to play games, I faced another problem. The frame rate in the game is dropping. Sometimes it is happening more often, but sometimes all is working well. But also, this problem only happens if I'm using all settings to maximum graphics and maximum display resolution. At first, I think that this could be the problem with the GPU drivers, but it's not. I reinstall the drivers and again all is the same, even I've tried with using older drivers. Then I think that this could be the problem with Windows. So I've tried with some tricks in Windows Regedit, like boosting the graphics, turning off some features, reinstalling some other drivers, but actually none of this is working. Then I even reinstalled the Windows, but again the same problem. So how do I fix this problem? In a control panel, in a power management, mostly there are a few power options, like power saving or balanced or high performance. But in my case, I have a balanced option only, and there are no other options. No matter what I set in balance, simply the Windows is not accepting any changes. So in this case, I have to add the high performance options. To add this option, I open the PowerShell command as administrator, and here I paste command that adds a high performance option.
Let myself enjoy the fruit from this lucky day.
Well, here is showing some error with red text, but that's because I already add this command. And after this, I reboot the laptop and then finally I can use high performance options and full performance on this laptop. Well, now let's check the gaming performance. Just everything to be legit, this is the CPU Z and GPU Z to show that we are on this machine.
I am on my way up. I won't slow down, 'cause I am on my
And these are the graphic settings in the game.
slow down. Yeah, I am on my way up.
Well, the gaming performance are much better than before. With all maximum settings, the frame rate is about a 60, which makes gaming fully possible. However, the lowest frame rate that I saw is a 34, and the maximum that I saw is about 80.
The storm is coming, but I'm prepared. I'll be gone for a while, but don't be scared. Right now, I don't know if I'll ever arrive. into the black hole. Sing for my soul. Through the black hole. To make myself whole again. I'll give you my love. Can't give you my love. No, I'll give you my love. Can't give you my love. I'll give you my love. Into the black hole.
Well, except the GTA 5, I tried to go with another game that has a much higher requirements, and that is Far Cry 5. In a Far Cry 5, I set all settings to maximum, and here the frame rate is lower compared to the GTA 5, but that is expected, because this game is much newer, with DirectX 12 graphics and have a much more details. In a Far Cry 5, the frame rate mostly is about a 30 to 35 as average. The lowest that I saw is 25 and the maximum during the gameplay is 61.
To make myself whole again. I'll give you my love. Can't give you my love. No, I'll give you my love. Can't give you my love. I'll give you my love. Into the black hole. Sing for my soul. Through the black hole.
The other performance with the eGPU are great also. With eGPU, it's possible to edit videos, working on some graphics or other designs, watching high-resolution videos like 4K and above, and other things. Also, using eGPU doesn't mean that the GPU always must be connected. The GPU can be connected or disconnected anytime. However, this laptop without eGPU is fast also, but for the basic daily tasks and playing some games with the low graphics requirements. Well, basically this is all about this ASUS laptop. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I hope this video will give you inspiration and ideas to back some old tech in function again. Also, if you want to support me to grow this channel, you can press the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Sing for my soul. Through the black hole. To make myself whole again. I'll give you my love. Can't give you my love. No, I'll give you my love. Can't give you my love. I'll give you my love. Into the black